So today our math standard that we are going to talk about is 1MD2. And it says measure lengths with non-standard units. So let's talk about what that means. So measure, and we're going to work a little bit on this one in a minute. Remember we said lengths was how long, okay? How long something is with non-standard. Okay, I'm going to come back to that one in a minute. Units. Now a unit means the same thing, okay? So the same thing. So measure, we're gonna determine, we're gonna figure out. So measure means figure out, kind of, and there's a way to measure. So we'll talk about the way to measure, the right way to measure. Okay. The right way, and non-standard. So non means not, and standard means like the usual. So not the usual ways. So we're not going to measure with inches or centimeters or feet or yards. We're going to measure with not the regular way, not the regular. So you heard of you might be 3 foot 2 inches tall. You might be 3 foot 6 inches tall. We're not going to use that. We're going to use non-standard of the same thing. So when we measure something, we need to make sure, just like we talked about last time, when we start at the right spot. Remember when I measured my Legos and I drew a line and we started my Legos at the same spot? You got to start at the same spot. And when you measure, so if I'm going to measure my whiteboard and now we're going to use a non-standard, my paper clips are non-standard, I wouldn't say this whiteboard is 2 paper clips, no, because there's all that space in between. I also wouldn't say that, my paper clips got all mushed together, that my whiteboard is 4 paper clips, because that's not right either. We can look at it and say that's not right. I might have to make sure that they touch. That's an important thing too, that they touch and that they go from one end to the other. So my whiteboard is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paper clips long. I think that's right. So you have to make sure that they don't overlap. You don't want to have them go like this, because then you're going to end up with, oh my goodness, how many paper clips long is that? Oh no, we know it's 6 because we just measured it. But that's not right either. So we're going to measure today with paper clips, and we're going to measure with Lincoln Logs, okay? So if I were going to measure my whiteboard, I would say that my whiteboard it's shorter than 2 Lincoln Logs, because it sticks out here to the end, but it's longer than 1 Lincoln Log, okay? So my whiteboard is longer than 1, but shorter than 2 Lincoln Logs, okay? What if I said, let's measure this colored pencil box? So I'm going to see how long, I'm going to measure the length, I'm going to measure it with, it's just about 1 Lincoln Log. Remember, I started at the end, and it doesn't go quite to the end. All right, let's measure it with paper clips. We start at the end, 1, no gaps, and no overlapping, 2, 3, 4. It's just a little bit longer than 4 paper clips. Remember, there's no gaps between my paper clips, and they don't overlap. Overlapping means you don't stick them on top of each other. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's 6 paper clips long. Because what is all that? No. Okay, especially if you use paper clips, and don't hook them together, because if you hook them together like they were hooked together earlier, now look, they're overlapping. Now if I hooked them all together, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it takes 5 because they're overlapped. Don't do that. Make sure they're they're touching each other, but not over touching each other. So my pencil box is 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. About 4. Now we're going to do my elephant and piggy book. Let's see how long my Elephant and Piggie book is. Remember to start at the end, as close to the end as you can get. 2, 3, 4, just a little bit short of 5. I would say it's pretty close to 5 paper clips long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And that's how you measure things. Let's see how many Lincoln Logs it is. I bet it's longer than 1, but shorter than 2. So, now remember, that's not right because I didn't start at the very, very end. So start at the very end, and I was right. It's longer than 1, but if I put 2 here, that's shorter than 2. All right, so remember, when you're measuring, make sure you measure the right way, how long it is. With non-standard, that means don't get a ruler. You don't need a ruler. Right now, we're just going to try to decide that it's not the regular way to measure and that you use the same thing. Because if I said it's 1 Lincoln Log and 1 paperclip long, that's not the same thing. It's not the same unit. Okay? So you don't want to mix up your stuff. Okay? So either measure with all paper clips, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or all Lincoln Logs. Now here's a question for you. Make sure you type it, your answer to your teacher. Why does it take 5 paper clips but only 1 Lincoln Log? Why does it take 5 paper clips but only 1 Lincoln Log to measure my book?